Hello students. Today we'll discuss the rest of the portion of crop production and management, that is chapter 1 class 8th science. So this is the part 3 of this chapter, and in this session we'll discuss the rest of the basic practices of crop production. In the previous two sessions we have already discussed four basic practices of crop production, that is preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizer, and irrigation. In this session we'll discuss protection from weeds, how the weeds to be controlled, then harvesting, and then the last step is your storage. Then under storage we'll discuss various methods of storage. So let me start with the protection from weeds. So let me first tell you what are weeds. Weeds are the undesirable plants which may grow naturally along with the crops in the field. You might have observed that even in our garden, when we are planting, when we are growing some plants that we want, along with those plants some unnecessary plants are growing. Grasses are growing, other plants, small plants are growing along with those plants. So those unnecessary plants which are not wanted by us are known as weeds. So why these weeds are to be removed? These weeds are removed by a process called weeding. The removal of the weeds from the field is called weeding. And why weeding is necessary? Because when the weeds grow along with the crops, then it affects the growth of the crop, because they compete with the crops for water, nutrients, space and light. That's why it is very much essential to remove the weed, or weeding is very much essential. Then how these weeds are to be removed, or how these weeds are to be brought into control? There are several methods. One of them is tilling before sowing. So as usual we are doing tilling and plowing before sowing of crops. So before sowing the crops in the field, so many unnecessary plants are there. So by tilling, these crops, these weeds are uprooted, and then these uprooted weeds are mixed in the soil, mixed with the soil after drying. Okay, so this is one method, that is before sowing we can do this. But after sowing, when the plants, the crops are growing, at that time also some plants, some weeds are growing along with the crops. So that is to be removed, and it is very much essential. And the best time, what is the best time for the removal of the weeds? It should be done before they produce flowers and seeds. Before the weeds or the undesirable plants produce the flowers and seeds, they should be removed. Why? Once they produce the flowers will produce the seeds, fruits, and the fruit will have the seeds. And once the seed will disperse from one part to other parts, then the weeds are spreaded over the field. From one part of the field to another part of the field, the seeds may be dispersed, and there will be wide spread of these weeds. That's why it is very much essential to remove the weeds before they produce the flowers and seeds. Okay, and usually the farmers, those who are not able to afford much, they remove the weeds manually that includes physical removal of weeds by uprooting or cutting them close to the ground from time to time with the help of a khurpi. Khurpi, you know, it is just like by which we can remove the grasses, that is having a that is wood log, small log is there, wooden log is there, to which a blade like iron shaped blade like structure is attached, with the help of which we can remove the weeds. So these when we are doing it manually, we have to uproot it time to time, or we have to cut the weeds close to the ground. Okay. Then next, the another method by which the weeds are controlled is by spraying certain chemicals, and those chemicals are called weedicides. For example, 2,4-D is one weedicide. So when we spray the weedicides, you may be thinking that when we spray the weedicides, that may harm the crops. No. The weedicides will harm the weeds only. It will destroy the weeds only. It will prevent the growth of the weeds only. It will no way affect the growth of the crops. But one thing, in what way it is harmful for the crops? Because these are chemicals. So when we spray it, the growth will take place properly, but the after fruiting or after flowering of the crops, if we spray the weedicide, then that may contaminate, or you can say that that chemical may contaminate the fruit, or some chemical will be mixed with the fruits, and for that purpose, due to that reason, we have to wash the fruits or vegetables or grains before using. Okay. The next is the next basic activity is harvesting. It is the after protecting from the weeds, the crops will grow properly, and once the crops are ripe, the crops are cut when they attain maturity, and this is called harvesting. In harvesting, crops are pulled out or cut close to the ground. So you might have seen that in a paddy field, the farmers are cutting the crops close to the ground, and that is the harvesting. So this can be done manually by cutting them with sickles, or by using machines also we can do. But those who cannot afford, they can do it manually. So next, after harvesting, after cutting the crops from the field, what we have to do? We have to separate the chaffs, separate the seeds from the chaffs. Chaff means, you know, that stem which bears the grain, or the branches that bears the grains. So the next step after cutting the crop is to remove the seeds from the chaff. Okay, and it is done with the help of a machine, and that machine is called combine. This combined, I will show you the diagram of the combine. The combined does two functions. Combinedly it does two functions, that's why it is known as combined. Combinedly, what is done by this machine? Harvesting as well as threshing. So this, what is threshing? So here you can see the see this is a combine, and with the help of this combine the harvesting is done. Harvesting means the crop is cut, and threshing means removal of seeds from the chaff. So both the functions are done by this instrument, or you can say the machine. Okay, and this makes the process easier. And after removing the seeds from the chaff, the next step is winnowing. What is winnowing? Winnowing means now the chaff and the seed get separated, but they are staying together. Now what is the next step? To remove the chaff from the seeds, because we have to collect the seeds only. We don't need the chaffs, and chaffs can be used for some other purpose. So this removal of chaffs from the seed is called winnowing. So what is the difference between winnowing and threshing? Threshing means removal of seed or separating the seeds from the chaff. After separation from the chaff, winnowing is the method in which the chaff is separated from the seed. These are two just opposite definition. These two are having just opposite definition. First one, seed from the chaff separated. So now we are having mixture of chaff and the seeds, but we need the seeds only. Chaffs needs to be separated. So in that case we have to go for winnowing, that is removal of the chaff from the seed. So the winnowing, there are several types of winnowing machine. Here I have given you only two picture of winnowing machine. This is the simplest one. The left one is bit complex. So there is a funnel shaped structure in which the mixture of that chaff and seeds are put, and then separately there is a wheel inside it, and after that this machine runs in such a way that it separates the chaff and the seeds, and they are collected separately. And here there is a fan. You can see that this is also a winnowing machine. So here what we have to do, we have to take the mixture of chaff and the seeds in a container or in a big flat container or a plate like structure, and here we have to move like this. You might have observed, I will show you the diagram. And here from pen the wind will come, and with the help because of this wind the chaff will be blown out. Okay, and the seed will remain in the container. So here you can see how the winnowing is done manually. So from this it will be very much clear for you. So here automatically, naturally, with the by the wind the winnowing is done. But if you use the winnowing machine, the second one which I have shown you in the previous diagram, this pen like structure, then it will be more easier. Then the last step of crop production is storage. It is very important step or activity, because we have to store the, after see we have got the collected the seeds in a purified form. There is no chaff, only seeds are there with us. But now what we have to do? We have to store it for the next season, and also to store for further use or for supplying it into the market. Immediately after harvesting we cannot send it to the market. we have to store it at a place. That's why storage is very, very important. And besides that, some amount of grains should be stored for the next season for growing the crops. So these crop grains are to be kept for longer time. And during this course of storage, they should be safe from moisture, insects, rats and microorganisms. Because the fresh crops which we collect from the field are having more moisture. So if they will not be dried, then fungus will attack them or some other microorganism will attack them, and that will destroy the crop. And for the next season, for growing the crop, the grains may not be available. Okay, so we have to avoid storing the seeds or the harvested grains without drying. Okay, so before storing the grains, they are to be dried properly under sun. Next, there are several methods of storage. Generally, the general farmers who are not able to afford much, and they are producing the crop or the grains in small quantities, less quantities, they store them in jute bags or metallic bin. But in large scale storage, for large scale storage, the silos and granaries are used. There is godowns. In the godowns, the silos and granaries are there, and there the grains or the seeds in big jute bags are stored after treatment with chemicals, and sometimes they are treated with the neem leaves and other things to protect them from the microorganisms. Now let me show you what are silos and granaries. So here I have shown you the diagrams of silos and granaries. The left one is your silos. The silos are the metallic big tanks and having cover, and after drying the seeds, they are treated chemically and they are stored in these metallic tanks. Okay, and then the next one on the right side, the granaries are there. This is a big godown where the seeds or grains are packed in the jute bag, and the jute bags are systematically kept in the godowns, and after drying the seeds and treating them chemically. Okay, so not only from plants we are getting the food. We know that most of us are depending upon the animals for food. That means we are getting food from the animals also. So what are those foods? Fish, meat, milk, egg. And so we'll not study much about this in this chapter, because it is crop production. It is not the animal food production. But somehow I am going to give you little bit idea about this. You know that fish, rearing of fish in a pond is known as pisciculture. Similarly, meat we are getting from goat, sheep, cow. So they are used for meat as well as milk. Then for egg, we are rearing the poultry. Okay, but to get better quality food and sufficient amount of such type of food, we have also to take care of these animals who are giving these products. So some farmers are there, they are rearing these animals in a small scale. But at a large scale, the animals are reared in farms by providing proper food, shelter and care. And these places are called animal husbandry. Okay. So, from the animal husbandry, large amount of animal products, food products are obtained and then they are sent to the market. Okay. So, with this your first chapter is finished, and if you have any doubts, any queries, you can ask me in the comment section, and after gathering all the doubts or queries, I can take a doubt clearing class. Thank you.